Welcome to Keep It Real with Ana and Avarie. Special guest on the podcast today, Cade Johnson of the Seattle Seahawks. Cade, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we've chatted before on the From the 402 podcast that I host, and we kind of went through just your life in general, but I want to really speak to what's been going on recently for you, Cade, and wrapping up the NFL season. You had your first receptions ever in a Seahawks uniform. Take us through what that moment was like in Week 18.
Oh, it was really like just a surreal feeling and like something that I've just like been working so hard for, and just growing up here, and I've always been the undersized kid and just fighting my way, and just to kind of get some acknowledgement like that, and just hard work pays off. But I mean, then again, I still have a long way to go, and I have a lot more goals and dreams that I want to accomplish. But just to have my parents there and kind of experience that moment with them, and it was just surreal, and I loved every second of it. So it was really dope.
You had your parents there, so you like found out pretty, like, was it not the day before you were activated? So how did you get them there that quickly?
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, it's so like fast flowing, and especially like when you're like on practice squad, and luckily for me, like towards the end of the year, like they kind of like let me know like within the beginning of the week. But no, it's like it's so fast, and I just remember I bought my mom's plane ticket because she was like, I like could not have her there,
right?
So yeah, I'm just like, yeah, and she flew out, and then my dad and stepmom came as well. So it was just like it was so fast, like everything. That's the crappy part about just like the elevations and stuff is like you can't like plan stuff out. So it's like my parents came the last 2 weeks of the season. So when we played the Jets and the Rams, they didn't come to San Francisco, but it was still nice to have them at those games. So.
You kind of went off in San Francisco.
I know.
How about that 3 reception, 39 yards?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we wanted to win the game, but it was a crazy atmosphere, and you know, like the 49ers are our biggest rival. So it was just one of those it was one of those games where it was back and forth, and then obviously one thing led to another, and it just didn't work out our way. But it was still a pretty fun and successful season for what they had for us, and how the NFL like viewed us in the beginning of the year, and then how we ended up, you know, being in the end of the year. So it was really cool.
Yeah, you were kind of all over the place during the season, and Anna and I are talking about this, but Jacob Eason's girlfriend on TikTok kind of gave like the first real look at what it's like to not be able to plan anything. And I feel like no one really knows what it's really like in the NFL, truly, when it's like up and down every week. And watching her stuff, she's like, and we're off, and I'm going across the country, or Jacob's on practice squad, or like now he's released. Oh, resigned. Like, how do you manage all of that? Like when you don't know what a week to week looks like, and then you go to having receptions and like playing against the 49ers in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
Yeah. So like, how do you go about trying to be, you know, like the best version of yourself for your team, but you also don't know like what the next week looks like for you?
Well, first and foremost, shout out Jacob and Sid too.
Yeah.
Like they're awesome.
Are you guys good friends?
I was really good friends with. We call him Skinny, but that's what he goes by.
Isn't that his Instagram handle?
Yeah, I think
Skinny QB or something.
Yeah. Me and Jacob, we're pretty cool, so I really like him and I miss him. But it's crazy. I think just with Seattle like bringing me in as a rookie, and I'm still there now, like I'm going into my 3rd year with Seattle, like it gives me more clarification where it's like there's some guys that come in and you can tell like they're only going to be there for like a week or however long, like 2 days, and then they're cut. But I think just like knowing the system and just the people in the facility, and like I work really hard when I'm there, and I don't like ever like to toot my own horn or anything, but like the coaches know, and I have a lot of teammates on the team too who are respected, and they respect me. And even when I wasn't playing, like a lot of guys, like I had a lot of relationships with different guys on the team. So that was really cool. And I think just with me playing, it kind of just solidified who I am as a person, and I can just grow from that. And I'm in a really good position right now, and I'm just but it is tough. Like last year I was cut for a week and brought back, like just stuff like that. You just don't even realize it's going to happen. So, but it's just the nature of the business where it's like, you really just have no clue. Like any day you can wake up and you get a call and it's like, hey, come bring your iPad in and we're letting go.
Turn in your playbook.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it was wild because it was like last year, it couldn't have happened to me on a more perfect week. So they called me in. It was like week 14, 15, like it was right during Thanksgiving. And I was taking a shower on my off day because it usually happens on your off days because it's the beginning of
crap. I wanted to enjoy my off day.
Exactly. And it's like the beginning of the week. And like, it was Tuesday and I got out of the shower and I was like a missed call. And it was just like, I had no idea who
calls
from.
You in that moment.
We have this Reaper on the team where it's like, when he calls you, like you do not want to talk to him.
Oh no. But
he called me and he was like, yeah, Cade, can you bring in your iPad to the facility? And I'm just like, no way. I call my dad and Mom, I'm like, it's happening.
It's happening.
Yes. So then I just went in there and luckily for me, they were like, hey, we need a running back this week for the practice squad. Like we're very slim on running backs. And so they were like, we're still going to pay you. Please come back. And I was like, okay, I guess this isn't terrible. So I ended up going to the Nebraska-Iowa game. And
there you go.
I got to watch my little brother. Yeah, this is not this year when they lost. It was last year when they won in Memorial. So it was really cool. But yeah, stuff. I mean, it's just, you just got to take every day where it's like, wow, I cannot like have a bad day today or I have a chance to get cut. So
yeah, how do you manage that pressure like on a day to day? Like I can't afford to have a bad day. Like that's natural. Like
you have to wake up every day.
Yeah, like any athlete's journey, like you're gonna have an off day. So like when you do, how do you balance the like, hey, it was it is what it is. Like the next day,
For me, it's like this is my dream job. Like I get to play football for a living. Like not many people get to say stuff like that. And then I mean, I've just like always been raised like my dad is like 100% at their effort or nothing at all. So it's like for me, I only have like one switch and it's funny, like I'll be doing walkthroughs and like coach got to tell me to slow down and stuff like that. But it's like that's just how much like I really just care.
Yeah.
And then like coming back here and just like doing the off season and making sure like I'm staying on top of all my stuff. And I think just like preparing like a pro and like if you want to play in the league for a long time, you really got to put in the effort. And it starts on a day-to-day basis where it's just like you got to wake up and get your mental right and get some good sleep at night and all that stuff. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that factor in. And then also I think like a big thing for athletes is like finding people and things to do outside of the facility, like during the season to like keep you like level-headed and like
big time.
Really just calm. And I have like a really good group of guys like that I like surround myself with out there and just like back home and stuff. The guys that I'm communicating with, like they're always pushing me and telling me to keep going. So it's really cool.
Who's your circle in Seattle?
So I mean, I have a lot of like friends on the team, but like we really grind the video games. Like,
okay,
I'm telling like, it's
what
like,
are you playing?
Well, right now I'm playing Call of Duty. A little Madden. Like my favorite game of all time is FIFA. Like I'm a huge soccer gamer, but Call of Duty is like our thing, and it's like it's me, DK, Kenneth Walker, and then hit or miss Gino, Noah fan. You get Tyler in there every now and then.
I would pay to hear the trash talking that goes on.
Yeah, so it gets pretty intense, and we're like search and destroy. So it's like you get one spawn in per round, and it's like it's pretty intense.
Oh my gosh! Who's the best?
Oh, it's a toss up. It really is.
This feels like a really important question. Watch what you say here.
I mean, we all have like our strengths and weaknesses though, so it's like. I mean, it's different. Every day is like a different person on top, but for the majority of the part, I'd say I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of like, I'm kind of like that. Yeah. If you want to put it that way. I mean, you said it.
Someone else that carries that same mentality, Geno Smith. The quote, I think it was week 1, right? Everyone wrote me off, but I didn't write back, though. I need that on T-shirts.
Oh, gosh.
Was that a thing in the locker room after he said that? Because it went absolutely viral.
Yeah. People don't realize, though, is like when guys say stuff and like, I mean, it doesn't really like carry like Pete would mention it in like the post game thing, but like after like games, you just like some of that stuff, like nobody really like pays attention to that media. But for Gino to say that and it was trending, and like I think a lot of guys like saw it, and I was like, yeah, like this is Gino, and he like it's crazy to see because like I was like there when Gino was like a backup, and we were like he was like my quarterback on scout team, and Russ obviously was there, and just like to like see Gino like do that and have the year he did, it really like honestly like he just didn't write back because like given his like situation and where he's been in the league, like he's not supposed to be in this position right now, and like he's done everything in his ability, and he's the true pro, and I love him. Like he's just not only a great football player, but he's like just an even better guy to be around, and like every day in the locker room, like we spent time together, and it was just really cool to get to know him even more this year and build that relationship with him.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, coming in, there's a lot of big names in that locker room. Like, not only just gaining the trust of a lot of those guys, but, like, now you're really great friends with them. And with someone that's become a very notable figure in your guys' locker room and just in the league, like, what was that like creating those relationships? And especially with Gino, where you guys very different backgrounds, like you were newer, he's been in it, but like at the same time, kind of the same trajectory. Like, how did that strengthen your guys' bond, and how much did you learn from him in just this season?
Yeah, I mean, to answer the first part of the question, everyone like loves Gino.
Yeah.
Like he is like such a likable guy, and he's just like because he's just so personable.
I was like, are we shooting shots?
No shots, no shots at all.
Anna wants it.
She does.
I do.
That's clickbait. That's clickbait. But no, Gino, he's really cool, and I love him so much, and he's just like he's awesome. Like from day one when he came in, he was competing for the like the starting quarterback spot with Drew, and for him to come in, and he kind of just like was still very vocal. Like he was a very vocal guy, and there was like a lot of guys that were just like there was like some uncertainty with him, but then he like quickly like just caught on, and then you just like the more he was able to thrive on the field, he was able like Seattle is like a place you can really just be yourself, and like they don't judge you.
Yeah, that's cool.
For your personality, and like a lot of places in the league, it's like I hear about it, and it's like you're supposed to go in there and do your job and then leave, and there's no like, but like in Seattle, like we laugh and joke, and we have like a bunch of like different activities and stuff that like gets the guys like really just like amped up for the week and just keep us like focused and stuff like that. But for me and Gino is like, yeah, that was really dope. Just for him to be able to like, he really just took me in as a brother, and like he's always encouraging me. I remember when we were on scout team last year, and it was just like I would have some weeks where it was like hard, and he would just always just have something positive to say. And then I mean, still to this day, we were snapping each other yesterday, and he was just like, I'm so excited for you, and just to see what you could do.
Inspirational from Gino through the Snapchat.
Inspirational Snapchats from Gino Smith.
I know.
I don't get those ever.
But yeah, he's a really dope guy. So
that's cool.
Yeah, no, that is amazing. But we have to ask about Russell Wilson. We just have to. I'm just curious what he's like in the locker room, because we've heard it all. We've heard the controversy about him and his character and how he presents himself in the media and whatnot. Cade, you did say you were an open book before this. So I made sure. But yeah, just what was it like being around him? Obviously, a guy that's won a Super Bowl there. He's done it. He's been there.
It was really cool because, I mean, Russ is like, just like the first time I saw Russ was just like, wow, like this is him.
That's my teammate.
That's my teammate. I know, facts. But no, Russ has been nothing but great to me as well. And it was like really, at first it was really tough to like, when he left, I was like actually pretty hurt about that. And I was like, dang, like that's our quarterback, and he's like the franchise. And like, it was the same way with Bobby too, Bobby Wagner, and just having him around, like those two guys were like the like main priorities of our team, and they were the ones who brought everybody together, and they were the vocal leaders. But Russ, he's like a champ. Like he holds himself at that standard, and like every day that's what he expects from you. So all that like stuff,
high knees on the plane,
all that's there's a lot of stuff that that is like
it's definitely blown out of proportion.
The portrayal of him in Seattle versus Denver has been very different.
Yeah.
Obviously, you
Yeah.
can
I
put
never heard anything bad about him when he was in Seattle forever.
And
Yeah.
I feel like maybe people connected the record, like doing better at Seattle, like it just there wasn't as much judgment. And Denver, it's like,
and then he does poorly, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's
So-
this, he's that."
or even just like the clips of him like on the sideline making sure everyone said like pass and stuff. Like,
But that's what he
is that
did. He did
true,
that.
or is
Yes.
that like
well, he
people
did
just
like
poking fun?
they're poking fun, but
Yeah.
like they got to also realize like Russ has had a long career of winning.
Yeah.
Like he knows
Right.
what it takes to like really like win the whole thing. And
Yeah.
I think that's where it's just like where it comes from is like he doesn't like he just wants to bring up like I it's crazy because like 3 years before I was in Seattle, they came out with this video of Russ like with the positive self-talk like on the sideline and stuff, and somebody was like bagging on him. I'm like, this is like what you want from a teammate. Like you want somebody who's going to be positive, encouraging, and just like always like there. And it's the same guy. And that's like the thing with Russ. And like, I could still text Russ now and he would hit me back. Like I remember, I remember when he got injured against the Chiefs in Denver, and I shot him a text like, "Hey, I'm praying for you. Love you, guy." And he instantly just texted me back.
That's
like,
cool.
That's really cool.
So
Right.
he's very like, he's a great guy. And I don't like what the internet says about him.
I think it's
So.
hard because there's a certain mindset you have to be a professional athlete, obviously. And so we only see so much of it. And it's really easy, I think, for fans or just analysts to be like, dude, like, what is this? Right.
But you can create any narrative you want about anybody.
But like when you've done it at that level and like you've got to get yourself to a certain mindset, and whatever works for you, I feel like is different for each person. And then if that's what it takes, like I guess that's what it takes. It might look funky to all of us, but like I just it's interesting to have that perspective from someone that's got to play with him and just know like it might look weird to all of you, but like this is who he is as a teammate. And like it's respected amongst people that it matters most.
Yeah. The whole thing is like weird too, because it's like he got traded to Denver, and then we got Noah, and Noah's like one of my best friends.
Yeah,
that's so
team.
crazy.
Yeah, what's that been like?
It's awesome, and like just, I mean, now I have somebody to like vouch for me when I'm everybody's like Omaha, Nebraska, like you're a real country guy, and I'm just like I live in like the metro area, like it's actually a decent size, like there's actually like a lot of people here, but. No, and then they show, so like they do this special segment where it's like they show our high school highlights during like the team meeting. If we have like good plays in practice, then they'll like flash it and they show like Omaha South Packers, and it's funny because like we beat them like 70-7 my senior year, and people are always asking about that. So it's really funny.
You have his number in football.
Oh yeah,
and it's funny because it's Noah Fant now, but
exactly, and he takes pride in the whole basketball thing. But I'm like, bro, we're playing football. Like
you can't
do that. And then like Drew Lock, like I love Drew.
Casey?
Yes, like I'm about to go to his wedding in April. So I'm
Where is it in Kansas City?
It's in Florida.
Oh, destination wedding for them.
Yeah, but no, me and Drew is like, I love Drew so much. And he's like, I used to watch Drew play my older brother like every year. He played for Drew.
Summit.
Yeah, he played for Run GMC in KC.
Yes.
And then my older brother, he played for OSA, like with like Justin Patton and them. And I used to watch Drew like every summer, and it was just like crazy. And now like he's like one of like
weird.
Yeah, he's like
in
seriously,
Seattle.
I like it's crazy. Like it's honestly wild.
Drew's awesome.
He is cool. I love him.
I love that he's from KC too.
And the video of him singing on the sidelines too. Like one.
It's a real thing. He knows that stuff.
Okay,
like he knows all that stuff.
You guys got a lot of characters on this team. I mean, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, you, Gino. What's the chemistry like in that locker room?
I mean, the chemistry is great. Everybody like it's cool because like now it just doesn't feel like it's just like superstars. Like it's everybody just like feels like the same. Like everyone talks to everybody, and it's just one of those things where it's like people like said like, oh, the Seahawks, like they're so fun, like the chemistry, like that's a real thing. Like it's not like for show. Like everybody really like the offense bonds with the defense, and the defense bonds with the offense. But it's so fun to just be around the guys too. Like just being back for like a month already, like I miss them so much.
Oh, I bet
it sucks, but at the same time, like it was, it's nice to have a break. But it was the chemistry and everything is like really dope. I mean, I have like we play like cards, and it gets really intense, and it's like me, DK, Drew, and Noah, and it's just like sometimes that messes up our chemistry because guys are like really salty.
You're getting pissed.
Yeah,
and poker.
Yes, literally. But it's so fun, and just building that with the guys every day. It's like our bond grows, so it's crazy.
Who's the guy on the team that like people don't talk about like as much? Like, you know, not your notable, you know, DKs and Gino. That's like just like the funny guy. Like, who is like one of the characters on the team that like people maybe not
wouldn't
suspect.
expect. Yeah.
Oh, there's let me think about it real quick because there's so many guys in the locker room. You got to think. Okay, but people like know who he is, but he's actually like the funniest dude like ever. Quandre Diggs he's seriously so funny, and he's like he was in the Pro Bowl this year, but people don't realize like Quandre has like one of the best personalities ever. Like this dude is hilarious. Quandre Diggs is really funny. I have a couple buddies that are like funny that one of them left. He's with the Packers now. Bo Melton is hilarious. Marquise Goodwin, he was a teammate this year that I got. And he is like, he seriously will have me die laughing at just the stuff he says. Is just like, it's honestly off the wall. Like just, it's crazy. But he's
keeping things interesting.
Yeah, he's hilarious. And he lives in Austin. So I told him I'm going to come visit him when I need some laughs. So.
I love that.
That's funny.
Definitely this team was counted out, but you end 9-8, you go to the playoffs. What made Seattle so successful? Because when we talked preseason, you said this is a young team and we're really hungry for anything that we can get. So I think there was an interesting dynamic there because no one really knew how Seattle was going to be given that Geno Smith was at the helm there.
Yeah, I think it was just the belief that Coach Carrol just installed in us like from day one. And it was just kind of like, it became like really real when like that first game happened and it was like we came out and we were firing on all cylinders. And it just kind of like, that just kind of like gave us like a little jump start for the season. And there was some games in there that we wished, but you could see like our age kind of just like came into play. Yeah. But coming into this next year, it'll be just like really refreshing because like now everybody has a season under their belt. But like just this past season, just to be able to, it was like just a bunch of underdogs. Like again, Geno was like the main one, but it was like there's a bunch of guys on our team that like were undrafted or like they got traded away, like Shelby Harris, like he got traded away in the Broncos and he ends up having like a great career. Like Chenna Nwosu, he was like our leading sack guy, and he was signed by Seattle because the Chargers they got rid of him and got Khalil Mack, and obviously they have Joey Bosa. So it's just like a bunch of like just really feel good stories and guys that just like have a point to prove. And I think it just kind of showed on Sundays when everybody was out there. So
like you personally, you know, you come from an FCS school, but there's 123 former FCS players in the NFL. Do you feel like it's still I don't know, I guess maybe people aren't giving it as much respect as it deserves? Or because, I mean, you walk in these locker rooms, you walk in the field, and I mean, from what it sounds like, feel prepared and like, you know, built for what the NFL has in store. Like, what would you say about the talent level at the FCS that people might not be paying attention to?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And this question happens all the time because it's like when you're in the draft process and stuff, they're always like, oh, level of competition, this and that. But I'm like, it's really like being in the Missouri Valley, like my conference in the FCS, it's really like no difference between like playing in the MAC and like some of the smaller Power 5 conferences or some of the like smaller FBS schools. But then again, like SDSU plays Iowa this year, and obviously like Iowa was competing to be in the Big Ten championship, and they lost 7-3. Like, but
no
I
score.
think, I know it was crazy, but no, it's really like, it's obvious. It's honestly like not that big of a deal, I feel like, anymore, because there's like a lot of guys now in the league that are kind of doing their thing. And I feel like it doesn't matter like where you come from. Cause like at the end of the day, like if you have the talent and the drive to play in the league, they're going to find you. Like Adam Thielen, he went to D2, like Mankato, like just to see guys like that. I mean, there's feel good stories everywhere, just like with guys, but it's like at the end of the day, the work and like how much you can do for a team and all that that's the main thing. So
right. Well, we were just saying, like, just between South Coast State, North Coast State every year, like, for those two programs to be in the Dakotas and to continue to have the success they have and then send guys to not only maybe, like, bigger schools, but the NFL, like, it's in the Midwest every year.
Yeah. And it's crazy, too, because, like, there's a lot of Nebraska talent on all those rosters.
Yeah.
And I think that is, like, the huge emphasis, like, that I can, like, say is, like, so, I mean, North Dakota State, one of their best quarterbacks in school history is from Creighton Prep. So it's like, it's really cool. And I like, it's just like the whole walk-on thing to Nebraska or walk on to Iowa or whatever big, it's not just Nebraska. So don't clip that and try to expose me. But just like the kids that go to those schools and like bet on themselves. And I had a lot of good Nebraska talent on my team. And there's still Nebraska talent that goes in there, and I know that at NDSU too. So it's really cool to see that.
I mean, you think of like a Noah Fant too, who didn't even go to Nebraska, goes to Iowa and does his thing. Look at where he is now. There's so many examples. I mean, your brothers too. You got to think of all that talent that went elsewhere. So it's really cool to see where everyone ends up versus where they are today. I mean, you're in the NFL. Did you think in your wildest dreams that you would be in the NFL? Was it always the plan, or were you like unsure at moments?
No, I mean, honestly, I wasn't even planning on playing football just in general.
Yeah, you were a basketball guy.
I was huge basketball, and it's just like my junior year of high school, like I was doing the OSA circuit with Crusaders like during the summertime, and I was like actually having like a really good summer, and I was getting like D1 like looks and interest, and I was getting a lot of D2 offers. And I was like, wow, like I really don't know if I'm going to go to school for football or basketball. And basketball was like my first love. Football was just like always in the rearview mirror because I was always smaller. But looking back at it, I'm happy I chose football because it's like,
yeah, I would say so.
But it's like at the end of the day, it's like basketball players is like I'm already like undersized as it is. The rosters are way bigger in football, like just your chances of just like doing that, and I just feel like my natural ability with football was a lot better with that than basketball.
I mean, you think about the guys that are in the NBA, like it's so hard to reach that point.
Yeah, it's so tough. Like I have my best friend right now, he's like 6'3", and he was always like better than me at basketball, and he was so good at USD, and it's like he's overseas like doing his thing right now, but just like to think of like a caliber player like that, and it's like it's crazy.
The
like
talent of the NBA is here, right? It's
exactly.
You think about the other leagues, but everyone wants to come to America to play basketball. So it's crazy the amount of talent we have.
It really is.
And how long they stay too. I mean, look at LeBron. How is he still playing? He's about to play with the Sun soon.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. I'll agree with you on that.
Yes, he is he's the GOAT, right?
Yeah.
You're a Jordan fan?
I can't make.
True, we didn't grow up with him.
I'm gonna be honest too. I feel like it's hard. We talked about this last podcast. Like it's really hard to compare the two when I feel like the style's different.
Yeah.
But like year 20.
No, for sure, no doubt. I mean, I think watching him play compared to anyone else is just like uncomparable today. But when you put the LeBron MJ thing, I don't like. My dad's like style is so different. Like you just can't.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't have enough to say because I
have this debate with my father like almost once a week.
Does he say the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like when we watched the Last Dance thing, my dad was like, "That's NBA," and I was like, I mean,
"That's NBA."
That's NBA. So I guess I don't.
That Last Dance thing that was really dope. Though.
It was good.
That was really dope.
That was amazing, and
it was the only thing to watch during COVID.
Yes.
It was
like literally they dropped it at the perfect time.
My family would order food, and it was like our family activity. Everyone in the basement. By this time, you will be nowhere else. We weren't anywhere else, but like. It was the activity.
That documentary got me through quarantine. That was,
and then like sometimes if they release 2 on a Sunday,
wait for LeBron's documentary though.
Just wait on it. Cade's ready to pounce on that.
Even better.
I know.
All right, some other questions I had just about the league and everything. The pressure of a pregame outfit.
Oh yeah, this was
what goes into a pregame outfit.
This is actually more pressure than actually like playing in the game.
I would agree. Yeah,
because all that other stuff is natural, but this is like. It's real.
The drip is real.
Oh my gosh. And I literally like, I have an issue. I have too many clothes like now in my closet because it's like, oh, I'm going to wear this in this situation. And then I'll end up hanging the outfit up and it just won't ever get touched. And I sound very like, I'm not irresponsible, mom. Like I do try to like bargain for my clothes. But at the same time, it's like, like I really like the playoff game. I was like, I'm gonna like really buy some stuff for this.
I'm gonna pop off.
Yes. So like I went to the mall and I got some black Air Forces because that's just like,
oh no,
yeah, that's how crazy I was going. And then
Wow.
I went into Sunglass Hut because I was just like,
Pulled out all the stops.
I was gonna get just a random pair of just like some nice sunglasses, and then the person's like, "Oh, our designer stuff is over there," and
you're
I
like,
was just
crap,
like,
they got me.
And then I went over there and I was trying them on, and I'm like, "Oh, these Prada glasses look nice." So it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And
How much chatter comes in the locker room when you walk in?
Oh my gosh!
And the outfit doesn't hit.
Oh, it you'll hear about it, or they'll hype you up, and it's like the more they pump you up, it's like, okay, are they making
They're
fun
making
of
fun of
you?
you.
But then the thing is too, like you can walk in and just really like put some stuff on, and they're looking at you like, wow, like he's got style.
So when you see like other teams and do their things, like I mean, I'm a Chiefs fan. You watch Juju walk in, you're like, you pulled off that?
Yeah.
Like, is it just because that's who he is?
Yeah, but
like,
that's
does
the
it
thing
give you
is,
any inspiration?
Okay, like DK, like he's kind of
Okay.
like that too.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's got his outfits.
Yeah.
And then he comes in, I'm like, I could never wear that.
You can
Like,
just pull it off.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, to each their own. And like hopefully one day, like I'm at that level where it's like I can just like, hey, like
I can just dye my hair
did you see
green.
did you see what Kyle Kuzma wore the other day?
No, I didn't see that.
When we're done with this, look at what Kyle Kuzma put on for his pregame outfit, and it's just like some of this stuff is getting kind of out of hand.
Yeah.
But then again, like DK has like they all have like stylists and people like that. Like I'm my own stylist. So it's like I really got it. Just
well, that's not really fair that they have stylists then.
Yeah, but I mean they earn the right to get the stylist.
All
like,
credit's your own. Like when an outfit's yours, you're like, it has me.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah. I'm always like calling my mom in the store, like, hey mom, does this,
FaceTiming her, does this look good? Or
like
no?
Urban Outfitters, like I'm a huge fan of Urban. Like I love just going there and just like just walking around, and I'm just like, okay, this is an outfit. I can put this on with this, and like the new like cargo pant look. Like yeah. So
yeah. So a pregame routine, how much different was that? Like from college to this? Like I feel like some of the off-field stuff is probably more of an adjustment sometimes than on. Because like, I mean, as an athlete, like the game day stuff is like kind of planned out for you.
Yeah.
In college. So like when it goes to the NFL, like how different or not different is it?
It's in the NFL, it's a lot more like if you're not in an away, actually like for both, it's a lot more just like individual.
Yeah.
Where it's like in college you're with the team.
Yeah.
And you're eating with the team, and like in the pregame, it's like, okay, how do you tell somebody who's getting paid millions of dollars like what to do before a game? Like they're gonna get themselves ready to do what they want to do. So it's like at the end of the day, I feel like the NFL is a little more challenging because you have to like mentally prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Where it's like in college, it's like it's a little bit more looser. Like, okay, like these are like my guys were on scholarship, like we're good. Like then with the college,
someone else has got us.
Exactly. And then with like the NFL, it's like I can't eat on game days for some weird reason. Like I'll drink so much water and
no food on game day.
It's really weird. Like if we have a late game, like then it's better because I can eat breakfast. Okay. But like my nerves, like and then like that's the crazy thing is like at halftime, then I'm just like so hungry because like
it hits.
My adrenaline has came down and stuff, and it's like somebody give me a glizzy. Like
players literally eat hot dogs on the sidelines. I was gonna ask if people will go grab them from the concession stand. Like people on the staff go grab them for you guys.
Guys, listen to this. I was at a Chiefs game a few weeks ago, and Andy Reid has like a lookalike, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. Like it's this guy that like goes to events and stuff, and he like will take pictures of people before the game because people will be like, "Oh, I saw Andy Reid." This girl behind me and my dad at the game. She comes back to her, I think it was like her boyfriend and then her friend and his boyfriend or her boyfriend or whatever. And she was like, you guys, like, I just saw Andy Reid in the concessions line. He was getting nachos and a hot dog right in front of me. It's not him. It's not him.
Oh,
you know, it could have been. It could have been. But I was cracking up. My dad and I were like losing. He was like, literally, they were like, no, like, he's on, like, you're not going up the concessions during the game. Right. And she's like, no, he had the headset and the play calling sheet and everything.
Oh, God.
I didn't have the heart in me to turn around and be like, no, like, it's a look like. But she was like, and then the guys were obviously laughing. She's like, look, like you can't even see him on the sideline. Where is he?
Oh my gosh.
And
getting a cheeseburger.
I was gonna say, like, nah, he's not a hot dog guy. He's a cheeseburger guy. But she was so convinced that for 20 minutes, she was like, no, like he was ordering a hot dog. And I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't put it past Andy Reid to be like,
I don't think Pete Carrol would do that either, but I know the one thing that guy does all the time is chew gum. I was watching this little documentary piece that Adam Schefter did. You've probably seen it. And they were talking about how much gum he goes through a day. And it's like 132 pieces a day.
It's legit. Like, I don't mean to expose my old ball coach or anything, but like, he actually like is like, and the crazy thing about it is too, like, it's like when he gets rid of the next piece, like, I don't know on average, like how much gum he really does chew, but it's like, you always like on the sideline, you always need to be like
looking
head on a swivel because he'll take it back, like chuck it, just throw it over the head, like just all this crazy stuff. And you're just like,
so if we ever see gum on the side of the helmet,
literally like flying gum like everywhere. And it's like, but he has like the OG Hubba Bubba, like, there was like this one game in general. I can't remember. I think we might've been in LA or something, but his like wrapper pack was like falling out of the back of his pocket, and it was just like going all on the sideline.
Like his
I'm like,
keychain.
oh, I need one of those, and where everyone's just trying to pick him up and stuff because it's like it's so good.
Yeah,
it's literally so good. But yeah,
he has a huge stash of them. I think in his office.
In the equipment room, they have like they have like boxes full of like Hubba Bubba in the equipment room. It's crazy.
Like one of the equipment managers specifically handles his gum.
Facts.
That's crazy.
Yep.
What's your title? Gum manager?
Yeah, literally gum manager.
You work in the NFL? Oh my God, what do you do?
They talked about it in the documentary thing too about, I mean, it wasn't they probably could do a full documentary on it, but he was throwing it. He's like, I don't always hit the trash cans. I'm like, I don't think you're trying, dude.
I don't think he hits the trash cans.
Do you know why this started? Like, what is
I think it's just his like
his
habit.
Thing.
It's his thing.
I think it's like to calm the nerves maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, he's been a head coach for a long time.
Yeah, he's been there forever, man.
Doesn't even know he's doing it.
I'll ask him when I go back.
Yeah.
Ask him, when did it start? Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, we all saw it in the NFL, biggest storyline of the year, DeMar Hamlin and everything that happened to him, cardiac arrest, all of that. What was the sentiment around an NFL locker room during that time? Obviously, it doesn't happen to your team, but it still hits very close to home.
Yeah, I think it obviously unites everybody, and we had like a really long conversation about that as the team, and just like we like got together, and like the team doctor came and talked to us. Literally, I think they played on a Monday, and it was like we have Tuesday, and then it was the next Wednesday. So it's cool to see like how tight knit the NFL is, like with the brotherhood aspect, where it's like, okay, that could happen to any one of us. So it's like we all just like count our blessings and we're thankful for each other, but just like to be able to sit there and pray for him and like just kind of like feel the pain and grief that like the Bills and obviously the Bengals like they had, but like there was just something in me like when that happened was like I just didn't feel right inside, and it was just like really tough to just keep doing like normal activities the remainder of that night, and just like always like checking on to see how he's doing and stuff like that. So it was definitely obviously unfortunate it had to happen, but it was really cool to see everybody unite and come together and just kind of pray and be there for everybody involved in the situation.
Do you feel like players' safety is a number one priority, or did this make you question anything or feel worried about going out and playing?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could say that for anybody, but this was like a really like freak incident,
right? And
it was like just like kind of finding out how it did happen was like, okay, this is like 1 in a million, like gazillion of it happening. Like I think, excuse me, as guys like come into the league and stuff, like you know what you're signing up for, like you know how physical and violent the game is, so it's like you have to be prepared for that. And there's a reason why you get paid X amount of money every year to do this and play. Like at the end of the day, it's the same game that you've been playing growing up. It's just at a bigger scale and like a bigger level. Like I think safety wise, they do take good care of us. And I love like our athletic trainer at Seattle. He's very up to par with all that stuff, and they really show they care there and stuff. So I mean, with my experience in the NFL, I feel like my safety and stuff has been taken care of, and I appreciate that, obviously. So
What does that Wednesday conversation with the team doctor consist of? Because at the time it was still, very unknown, and I'm sure there's a lot of fear for you guys, but like, what was that conversation about?
Yeah.
Just to either calm you guys or just like reassure you of, what to
Yeah.
do in that situation?
it was more calming because it was like he was explaining like the way the injury happened and like how it did happen. So it was like, it was a lot more just refreshing to know, like just kind of from like somebody in the medical field, like to just be able to explain, okay, this is how it did. And then also it was more like informative, like, okay, if this situation happens, like these are the people who are taking care of us and these are like this. So it was like it was a really good meeting to have.
Yeah. That I feel like is even comforting to hear now, because I feel like even as a fan, you were waiting for like the next hit to go bad, like at the next game, even though like we were getting good signs. But I think it was that Thursday night game, like he wasn't, back to even,
he was still in critical condition,
right?
For
like
a while.
I don't think even like speaking terms, but I just mean to feel like there was some sort of like, okay, this isn't just going to happen when the next person hits you.
Yeah.
Because as a fan, it was like, okay, what happens after the first hit after this happens?
Yeah.
And also how the Bills and Bengals training staff handled that situation in the amount of time that they saved his life, right?
Exactly.
And you know that at every single game, there's X amount of medical media people won't save you, but the medical staff will. X amount of medical staff ready to administer CPR when needed. So that's like really, I feel maybe it's comforting that there's so many people in the right position to help players when they need to happen. Has there been a moment for you that you've gotten your shit rocked?
Yeah.
To put it lightly.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, but not really, like to the point where it's like I've had like 5 or 6 concussions in my in my career. So it's that's like tough. I've been able to, I mean, just I don't even know how to explain that, but yeah.
Like diagnosed 5 or 6, or are we guessing 5 or 6?
No, we're diagnosed.
Oh wow.
But
so 10.
I'm good now. I'm straight.
That's good.
But I've had people like I haven't been rushed back from any of those, and luckily for me, it's been like 2 years since I've had one. So
good. That's good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
At least I think so.
We're gonna hope so.
Yeah.
You got a lot of a career ahead of you, Cade. We're gonna keep you healthy. We want to close out the podcast on some fun, quick questions for you.
Okay.
Avery, I'll let you do the first one.
Who is the player you have learned the most from so far?
Tyler Lockett.
How come?
He's just first of all, I'm bigger than him. So like to have somebody at that level playing like that type of football is like crazy. So it's like I just want to study him because he knows how to do it, and this is like I think he's going into year either 9 or 10 next year, and he's a professional. Like he knows how to run every route in the route book, and he knows how to get open and stay open and yards and everything. So, and he's like basically another big brother to me.
Yeah.
So for him to just be able to, we're in the same agency. Like now it's crazy. Our little brothers play together at Kansas State.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of just like a full circle thing where it's like, I met Tyler when I was in junior or senior in high school. He came to Omaha, and it's just been crazy. So our journey is very interesting, but like now I can rely on him with my life.
Favorite away stadium to play at?
Well, it's not really an NFL stadium, but the Germany game was.
Oh yeah,
it was. That was like amazing. It was like it honestly felt like a dream. Like just to see all the people like in the stands, and just to be in Munich for the week. That was one in itself. That's like,
sweet. Yeah,
we were walking around, and like it wasn't really fun walking around with Tyler and DK because it literally felt like we had the whole like city of Munich following us. But it was
I'm sure
it was a really cool experience and something that I'll honestly will never forget.
You can't miss where DK Metcalf is.
No,
he's gigantic.
Well, we went to Five Guys and they had like this
in Munich?
4. Yeah, because we're like, we need some American food. Like the food.
So Five Guys.
That's the thing.
Respect,
Munich,
though.
great Munich. Like I love Munich, but I could not get behind the hotel food that they were giving us. But we went to Five Guys, and there's like it was like a 4-story Five Guys. It was
Oh,
crazy.
wow. You're like American spotted.
Well, he went in there and we're like, can you put your hoodie and hat on? So he put that on, and then we got our food. We went to the 4th floor, and he took it all off. And then the next thing you know, there's like a spiral staircase, and there's like people on the staircase waiting to take a picture. And we're just like, let's go. It's time to go.
Anyone take a picture with you?
I mean, some people, but you have really had to be a diehard Seahawks fan,
right?
To
be
take
like
a picture with me, or like it's just like, okay, I'm not like I'm black, so it's like, so it's kind of like, you know, there's like 4 or 5 of us in a pack, and it's not that hard.
Football too, right?
Yeah, so
that's hilarious.
If you had to choose an NFL stadium, which one would you choose?
Man, like the coolest experience, or just like somewhere fun.
The one that you like left and you're like, dang,
they go hard there.
Yeah. Or just felt different.
Honestly, the loudest one, in my opinion, like no offense to the Kansas City, because it was very just. I think it was also because it was negative temperature when we played there.
Whatever.
But they say that Kansas City is louder than Seattle, and I don't think it is.
It is.
But Minnesota, the Vikings.
Shut
Big Vikings fan over here.
The Vikings is honestly
enclosed.
It's crazy, but like they go ham, and then they do the skull chant. Like that is actually intimidating. Because it's
are
like,
you scared when you hear the skull chant?
So many people, and then they go, like on third,
the
like,
horn thing.
Oh my, it's so loud in there.
I love that.
It's so loud in there. Yeah, that's cool. But then again, like being in the NFL, you realize the TV makes stadiums look so much bigger than what they are. Like when I went to Lambeau, I was like, wow, this is like really small. Or Kansas City, like, wow.
Enough.
This is like
very small. Memorial.
That's what I'm saying. And then like
smaller than Memorial.
Heinz Field was like that too. I guess.
feel like the Bills Stadium is small too.
It's smaller, but it's more compact.
It's still,
that's why we're loud.
It's still big. But I'm just saying, like,
you ever tailgated at a Kansas City game as a fan before you're in the NFL?
No.
Okay.
You have to do that.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know
Kansas
when you would
City
have time.
was
I'm
like,
kidding. Keep it up with the
honestly, like the game was like, it wasn't like that close either. Like it was, I mean, they pulled away towards the end, but like the moments like where it was like close, it was like, it wasn't loud really.
Well, I'm really glad that you said Minnesota because
Minnesota, I will give it to you guys.
I haven't been to a game yet, but
you can have the loud award.
So
I'll win a Super Bowl. That's fine.
Okay, Lumen Field's super loud
so
though
loud.
too. I mean, you got the 12th man,
Yes.
like that place has to be rocking.
It's
Is that
legit
super
loud,
cool to play at?
Mm-hmm. And we're going for the Eagles, right? For the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Big Eagles fan.
Yes. I want the Eagles to win too.
Are you? Okay.
But yes, it's super loud in Lumen though. It's really crazy.
I'm not actually a big Eagles fan.
But
I don't really care. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
This Super Bowl doesn't interest me.
I have a friend on the Eagles.
Who?
Dallas Goedert. So I
Beast, yeah.
Like I really want him to win. We went to school together.
Mhm.
There's your FCS
Yep.
tie-in, right?
Yeah.
You want the FCS guys to win.
Big FCS fan.
But no, Lumen. But that's the thing about Lumen though, is like we're loud on like first and second and third. Like
you were there on a cold game.
All the downs though.
Everyone's
is
covered.
what I'm saying is like it's very
You can't
loud
stop
in Lumen.
defending.
Yeah, you have to. We'll do this. You go to a Kansas City game when it's really loud, and then we'll get you a trip to Lumen.
Mm-hmm.
You and
That's
Anna
fair.
can come and
That's totally fine.
You know what?
be the
I'll
judge.
make my judgment if you get us there.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
I got you guys. I
Okay.
got you.
Then I'm in.
All right.
1000%.
All right.
Okay. Last couple questions. Coolest player you've met that maybe you looked up to growing up?
Man, this is such a tough question because I've met so many.
Not Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Guys, I'm just kidding. Give the cheeks a little.
Kirk Cousins is what he meant to say.
Kurt.
Stop.
Like,
enough.
but I met
Kirk Cousins too.
I met Kurt before I was in the league, and I was like, wow, this guy is like really cool.
Yeah.
Like he's a really like Kurt is like down
He's
to
like
earth.
my cool uncle.
Yeah, no, he's
a dad. He's a total dad.
He is. Yeah, I heard a lot of interesting stories about him, but yeah, but no, honestly, like coming back to like you don't really have like the strongest relationship with like other, like there are some guys that I came into the league with that are on different teams, like rookies and stuff like that. But then again, like just like seeing like Tyler now is just like, and Marquise is another one where it's like those guys have been playing for so long, and we have like bonds now where it's like they're more of like mentor, like big brothers to me, where it's like I respect you so much and I would literally do whatever for them. So
Do you live on your own in Seattle, or are you with someone?
I actually had a roommate this year. I live with another guy on the team, but he was on IR, so like it was more just like I lived in a 4-bedroom house, so it was really nice. Because last year I lived in a studio apartment, and it was
living in Seattle is kind of like.
And I also paid like $3,000.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was just gonna say, because I'm curious, like when you have such a close, tight knit group, like it'd be so fun, I'm sure, to all like live together and stuff.
That'd be chaotic.
But we're all like
close.
We all go to like DK's or Tyler's or stuff like that. Like
DK's mansion.
He's got a nice check though, so you better be taking care of you guys.
That's funny.
I hope he bought the 5 guys.
No, we it's funny because like
how do you do a
I mean, we sometimes we go and just like everybody just pays for their own like, separate. Especially that's why I like to hang out with Noah.
Yeah,
because you'll go someplace and it's like, okay, you don't want to know how much
are on the same playing field.
You don't want to know how much the tab is, and it's like, okay, somebody will. But Noah like keeps it honest. Like we'll like be at a restaurant. He's like, okay, I'll take this on the menu through this. Like this is what I ordered, and then this is what he ordered, and it's like he's very like budgety, and I like that about him. Where
I mean, yeah,
you got some splurgers. Or a lot of splurgers, and then you got like guys where it's like, okay, I'd rather have you be like a little more like self-conscious or like stingy with your money.
Because you're just blowing all your money.
I'm the same way though, so it's like,
Have you already experienced your rookie dinner experience?
I actually did, and it was not fun at all. Ours was like 9,000.
Where'd you guys go in Seattle?
We went to this steakhouse called Ascend, and I remember they got like. Do you know Louis the 13?
Yes.
It's like a bottle of it is like $13,000, and
13,000.
Yeah, and everyone got a shot, which like a shot was like $250 a shot. Just a little tiny shot was $250. So yeah. And
another round.
Yeah.
So 9,000.
Yeah.
But the bottle's 13,000.
That? They only got shots.
Oh, shot. You're right.
Just shots. But
so
it was
how many? Yeah. How
it was
many
just
splits?
me and Dwayne Eskridge.
Oh, geez, you had to split that.
Yeah, but it builds pride and character.
You learn.
Sure.
You learn.
And that's when you learn to be frugal with your money.
Exactly.
And you're like, I can't buy a $250 shot every night. That's okay.
Or one day
I'll get there.
Be able to.
Yes. Yeah. You'll be able to.
Got goals, and there's one of them.
Can you guys go out in Seattle? Do you ever do that? What's the scene like there?
It's actually kind of lame.
Really?
Oh, devastating.
Omaha's better, the capital district?
Low key.
Whoa.
I mean, I'd rather go to Blackstone than out in Seattle.
Shout out Blackstone.
It's like I'd rather
crazy.
Maybe
you guys are just going to the right spots.
I feel like we have access to every spot.
I was going to say, you
but that was cool. Is like I'd rather do like an event in Seattle than go out.
Oh.
Like Jack Harlow came. And it was like
that's sweet.
We went there, like, and then we met him afterwards. Like,
that's sick.
We were in his little like room back there, and he's like really cool.
Yeah.
Then you get like a bunch of we have like a bunch of performers like Rod Wave and but I'd rather do something like that.
That's fair.
Go to an event with the team and stuff. And
or they have a lot of like lounges too, where it's like some like bougie like dive bars or stuff where it's like
keep it low key.
Yeah, but it's like also too is like I'm not like really into like the party scene like that. Like I'd rather just like go and like listen to like KC, right? What is the one lounge called? It's like the Green Lady
Lounge. There's
like I like that like downtown like
after you guys were there, you went there?
No, I've been there, but I'm not
so like post big win in Seattle. Like, what's the team's plan?
I mean, that's a very it varies.
Yeah,
a lot of the times.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've got family.
A lot of the times
we got
like,
first years.
Yeah, if my family's in town, like I'll take them to like a nice dinner.
Yeah,
and we'll go get some good food and just like hey order whatever, and it's just like, or if nobody's there, I'll just usually go home and get on the game. So.
You've got bigger things to worry about on Call of Duty.
Seriously.
Yeah. Does the whole team play on after the games. Like DK will hop on and that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Priorities.
There was one game though. We went to. It was his birthday weekend. We went to LA after the game.
Casual.
So that was really fun.
Super casual.
That was really fun.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
I love it.
That was like my first like private jet experience. So
Yeah.
Dope.
Speaking of food, we have an interesting question for you here. Brought up on our last podcast.
Okay.
How important is ranch as a condiment to you?
The most important that it could possibly be.
So starting there, who has the best ranch?
In Nebraska.
Runza.
I said Runza too. I said Runza. Have you ever had Oscar's Pizza Ranch?
Yes, I actually have.
Really good too.
Gas.
Yeah, Pat, one of our producers, says Amigos.
No, Valentino's too.
Oh, but that was his wife.
Okay, his wife said Valentino's.
Interesting. I'm trying to think where else I've had some really good ranch at. Okay, this restaurant in Brookings, South Dakota. It's called Cubby Sports Bar and Grill. They have some of the best ranch I've ever had.
I feel like there's nothing else in Brookings, so they got that from.
I've been to Brookings too. We've both been to Brookings.
Oh, you have?
When you stay as a visitor, visiting,
it's not fun as a visitor.
It's not very exciting.
No.
How did you survive 4 years?
Honestly, I was depressed as hell. Like
it's a hard place to live.
It's a really hard place.
I was so depressed and it's so cold. And I just remember like I went to Vermilion the other day to go visit my best friend. One of my best friends lives in Vermilion. And when you pass by like Sioux City and like you're driving and I'm just like, how did I do this for like the amount of years that I did? And it's like, I love all my South Dakota peeps and stuff, but it's just like, wow.
It's hard.
Brookings, it's a tough place to be.
It's really tough and it's freezing. Like we had a whole week off because it was like cold. -60.
Like, so you have this place called Cubby's, but like what would be your top 3 places? Because when I was there, we were there for the Sim League tournament.
Like food wise?
Yeah, we were there for like 4 days and we couldn't find anything. I think we went to Perkins like 5 times.
There's
Perkins
backyard barbecue was really good, and you probably didn't go to it.
We didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, backyard barbecue. Wow, it's been so long. I mean, Nick's Hamburger, but that's more just like a
late night.
I went to like Amiga or no, what was it? Taco John's a lot.
Taco John's.
I went to Taco John's
some
a lot.
fine dining in Brookings.
Yeah.
Jimmy John's.
Okay.
We had a Zestos.
Oh, Zestos is good. Yeah, we have that here.
I feel like no one talks about Zestos here unless it's the World Series. Like, are they even open all the time?
Yeah, they're not open unless it's a World Series. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, they close. They make all their money during the CWS and then they close. Yeah.
Dang, I did not know.
Like,
that.
I wish
I know that because I went there one time, not during the World Series, and I was like, wait, it's closed.
Like, I wish like the vibe. I mean, you can't replicate the World Series downtown, but like, imagine if like the rooftop, I know it's cold, but they can close. The Blat was like open more often and stuff. Like even in the spring.
You gonna go to that? Yeah. I think I saw you there.
I come back like every year that I come back after off season is like the College World Series, so it's the best weekend to come.
100%.
This place just transforms.
I know, and it's like, wow, it's so fun.
Omaha should have an NFL team, right?
Facts. They need an NFL team because it's like
something. We need a pro team.
Well, Nebraska just isn't cutting it anymore. Like everybody's becoming depressed.
Everyone's leaving.
Yeah, they're forgetting what good football. Like, hopefully Matt Rule.
Yeah. Are you able? Yeah, can you give us a take? What are your thoughts?
I really hope Matt Rule is the answer. Like, I really hope he is. It'll be interesting to see. I wish him nothing but success and the best. And it's just like my life is so much easier now because I don't have to hear that crap about when my little brother plays Nebraska. Like.
Yeah, because now he's at K-State.
Big 12, yeah. So I'm just happy. Now, like, I'm a Husker. Like, I've always rooted for the Huskers, so people think, like, I hate the Huskers.
There's some animosity.
If you come to my dad's house, like, there's literally Nebraska.
I mean, he won a national championship.
That's what I'm saying.
How's it been from, like, your dad's perspective? Like, you win a natty, and then you're, like, watching that program, like, slip away. Like, is he excited for right now, you think? Or do you know? Like, what his thoughts are?
Yeah, I mean... obviously he's being a dad and he like wants Kansas State. He's really focused on them. But at the end of the day, like he's alumni of Nebraska, and people think like my dad hates Nebraska, but he really like has done a great job of being a father and like saying like, okay, you go to the school that best fits you or best suits you. But he always like wants Nebraska to win, unless they're playing his sons. But that's just really how he feels.
Yeah. I mean, you grow up here. How can you not be a Husker fan? It's literally instilled in you the day you were born if you're a sports fan whatsoever.
For sure.
It's crazy.
You have no choice.
You literally have no choice.
None at all.
Yeah.
Last question. Predict the Super Bowl score right now, right here. Cade Johnson.
Okay. I've got Philly 34, Kansas City 31.
Oof,
Okay.
So 34-31.
All right. Little field goal action at the end.
Who scores the first touchdown?
I think it's going to be Mahomes to Kelsey for 5 yards.
Okay. Wow. I'm going to put that bet in right after this show. Thanks so much, Cade. Keeping it real with us.
So
I really
much for
appreciate
having
you
me.
being
Yeah,
here.
thank you.
I appreciate you.
Good luck
guys
next
for having me.
season. We'll
Thank
be
you.
rooting you on
Thanks.
from Lumen Field.
Yes. From
Sideline
Lumen Field.
passes.
You heard it here first.
Thanks, Cade.
Of course.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.